Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another program for the Life Vision Project. And today I've got the pleasure of being with my great friend, Dr. Eric Plasker. Eric, thanks for taking time out of your, I know, very busy schedule to hang out with us and share something I know both of us think is really, really important, and that's understanding how do you craft your life vision. Before we get into some of that stuff, for the few people who may not know you yet, recent graduates or whatever it may be, living under a rock or whatever, please share with us, what you're up to, 100-year lifestyle and so on, what you've been doing, so people know the messenger before we get into the message.
Well, it's an honor to be here. Once again, deja vu, Jason. We've done this once or twice before. We just don't go away because when you have a life vision, you keep showing up. And I think that's really, really important. That I love that we're talking about this topic. It's really important for our watchers and listeners to keep showing up. I mean, that's how you discover what your life vision really is. You can't discover it on a couch. When you're playing around with your pencil or your computer, maybe it looks good on paper, but then you go out in the world and get punched in the nose and you realize, well, maybe that wasn't my life vision. But the reality of it is you just got to keep showing up. And so it's an honor to be with you to keep showing up. So thank you.
Feelings mutual. You want to share some of what you do so people know the breadth? We'll get into I almost reverse engineer the conversation. What are you now doing? Because you have a big life vision. I know that. I'm asking you to share it with others. So they see, most people listening, I think, are going to be in the area of how do I build my practice? How do I do something in my community that's of substance that also makes me a good living? And you've not only done that very successfully yourself, but you help thousands of other docs do that too. So maybe share kind of, again, thinking backwards, where are you now? Where are you going in the future with the 100-year lifestyle? And then let's dig into how was that born?
Very good. I'm excited about the discussion there because I was very fortunate. My purpose, my life vision professionally is lifetime care for everyone. Our company, the Family Practice, which has officially been a company for 17 years now, unofficially for probably 20 years now, helping and duplicating success for nearly 6,000 chiropractors around the country and around the world. I can tell you we've never been more fired up. We have taken what we have taught in the business model of the Family Practice, attracting lots of individuals and families for lifetime care. We've taken the business system of that, merged it with the best-selling marketing, branding, patient education resources of the 100-year lifestyle to create a lifetime patient system that provides doctors everything that they need from web to 100th visit and everything in between to fill their practice with lifetime patients, while we also deliver a collective, non-dilutable, non-pollutable lifetime care chiropractic message in the world. We have always been about lifetime care for everyone. It was very frustrating for us to see individual successes, although that wasn't the frustrating part. But it's like, okay, this doctor's got a really good personality and they're winning. This doctor doesn't have as charismatic a personality. They're not winning. Well, how do we create a non-personality-based profession that is driven by a vision with a collective brand and a collective message that it can attract the planet? And so we've been committed to that. We have not wavered from that. Because we have not wavered from that, we can continue to add technologies and resources and tools without increasing our price. And so it's been exciting to see people getting on board and to be able to duplicate success and duplicate a message.
I love it. Let's start with how, again, professionally, how is this born? There's a lot of people that just want to get into practice and start doing stuff. But you and I think both know doing is secondary to thinking and feeling. And that comes from, what, again, we'll call, and I don't mean to keep repeating it, but your life vision, your purpose, the thing that drives you to wake up in the morning and go, let's go. How did that happen for you?
It's a great question. And what's interesting about the question is that, for me, I got injured playing football and drank the chiropractic Kool-Aid. It just made sense to me when Ernie Landy from Spring Valley, New York, adjusted me that day when I was 15 years old, big orange afro. It just made sense to me that if it could fix me, it could keep me functioning at a very high level if I did it as a part of a lifestyle. Ernie helped me understand that. I'm It's an honor to continue to work with him today as a part of our affiliate program. And so I got it. It made sense to me. And then I had a couple of things happen to me that were unique. Some of them I don't wish on everybody. My son got injured, became paralyzed. We were told he would never walk, talk, or use his arm. I was much too young at the time to even know how to cope with a situation like this. I was 27 years old at the time. It was way beyond my coping mechanisms. My wife too, and we could have caved, but we saw what chiropractic did for him, and we saw how the consistency of care mattered, and that yes, that first adjustment freed up his nerve supply, his energy. He began to heal almost instantaneously, but every adjustment after that mattered. And so to see him grow and develop and now be a chiropractor today, 27 years later, no wonder we're more fired up at the family practice than we've ever been. But that was one incident, and there's a lot of things, but the other one that was really meaningful was when Max, that 100-year-old man, came into my office, and chiropractic helped him tremendously, but he didn't get checked right away as a baby. He deteriorated for 99 years. If you want to hear that whole story, you can go to the Family Practice fan page. There's a video of me telling that whole story. It's about 10 minutes. It's worth it, but we don't have the time today. So I saw in a very short period of time that chiropractic could help a baby who was severely injured and paralyzed to heal and regain function and thrive. And I saw this 100-year-old guy thrive because of chiropractic care after being crippled for decades. And I realized that, lifetime care for everyone, chiropractically, would make a difference and could literally change the world. And so we did it in our practices. I had 2 practices. They were successful. We were able to duplicate success. I think that's one of the big things that we've been committed to as a part of our life vision, is duplicating success in a way that's not personality based. We've been able to do that. And then what we realized is that it's one thing to duplicate an individual success, but to duplicate collective success around the planet, around the globe, we needed a common message that we could all agree on. And that's something that we have not been able to do chiropractically, and it's tough to get the associations on board. Even the word chiropractic is such a mishmash today. We will never have. In our lifetime, there are so many factions, and I call it the chiropractic crap box. And so what we did was, and this is how the 100-year lifestyle was born out of Max's incident, we tested a lot of things. I have some unique experiences going to Park Avenue, being in front of some of the largest publishing companies in the world, testing different titles and testing different brands. And I remember, Jason, they said to me, well, Dr. Plasker, here's the cover of the book. And they had my picture on the cover. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. And they said, why? I said, because the last thing we need is another bald guy on the cover of the book. And so it was, and I can be a very strong, charismatic personality, but I have fought hard to put myself on the back burner so that we could deliver a collective brand and a collective message in the world. And it's working. It's working, especially the way the demographics and the statistics are falling in line with the favor of this message. There's never been a better time for it. So it's strengthened my life vision for the main thing that I never quit and wavered from it. I stayed true.
So let's talk about that, because it would be easy for you to just go, listen, what's the easiest way for me to make the most amount of money? Because when I have the most amount of money, then I can do good things and follow my purpose. And I think that's probably a lot of people's psychology is, listen, let me make as much money as I can, and once I've done that, then I will. But being purpose-driven or coming from a sense of life vision tends to be a little bit different. Can you explain why you keep doing what you're doing? What drives you and how you discovered that drive? More specifically, how do others follow that and find their life vision?
Yeah, I think what's interesting as you ask that question is that I think that if you're listening to this, you already know what it is, and that's why you're here. You think that life vision is going to help you find it, and it will, and you should be there, and you should show up absolutely, positively, 100%. But here's the reality. If you're a chiropractor and you want more people under chiropractic care, and if you think that the world would be healthier if people utilize chiropractic care the way that you and your family do, and that that's meaningful to you, and it also pisses you off when they're going the other route and getting sick and injured, and you see on Facebook about all the damage that drugs are doing in the world. Listen, you have your life vision. You just need to commit to it and stop chasing empty things. We live in a world where you got to settle in. We jump around so much. We're such an ADD society and culture, and as chiropractors, we spend so much time chasing Facebook likes. And then we get one post that had 1,000 likes. And so we spend another 2 years trying to get the next one that has 1,000 likes. When the reality of it is if you're on this call, and no matter what chiropractic college that you went to or university that you went to, if you were attracted to this, then the reality of it is we share a common life vision. You just need to commit to it and stop chasing emptiness in other places. And what happens is, and here's what I have found, and I love this quote, and I wish I could remember because I'm big on giving credit for quotes. I have no idea where I heard this. Somebody somewhere said that if you love something enough, it will reveal all its secrets to you. And I love that. And so for me, that's been completely true. The more committed I get to this life vision of lifetime care for everyone, the more ideas that I get, the more skill that I get. Have a conversation. We have a training program called Speak Up and Lead. And we'll be helping people package their words in a way that it's more effectively. And you see that when you're committed to a life vision and you're committed to these things that matter to you, sometimes in the communication, you repackage your words in a way that, oh my God, that was it. And then you get excited about it again because you know that now I can reach 100 more people or 1,000 more people or 2,000 more people or 10,000 more people. And you don't discover it, Jason, and our fellow colleagues listening to this. You will not discover all of these answers in your own head. I often say, if you're looking under the hood a lot, stop looking under the hood. It's dangerous under there. And a lot of times when you spend time with yourself and your thoughts, and then you test things out in the world, you realize there's a difference between what you thought and the reality of the implementation. It's like in Speak Up and Lead, we find that there's a disconnect oftentimes between what your brain is thinking and then what comes out of your mouth. It's like I'm thinking one thing and then, well, that didn't come out the way that I thought it was going to come out. And so, but you can't think your way there. You can't think your way to being a better speaker, and you just can't think and sit on your couch your way to being a highly successful chiropractor. You got to put it into play. You got to see how the world responds to you. You got to take your innate, as we often say, take your innate out for a test drive. See what it can do. Learn what it's like to be on two wheels, and then go back and make some corrections, tweak it up. And when you do that, you discover that you attract more of the good things in life that are meaningful. And you will absolutely attract abundance. And you will absolutely have as much money as you want if you stay committed. The big thing that happens with a lot of our people, Jason, is that they get distracted and they let the distractions and the clowns and the whoever's distract them from their true purpose. Yeah. Time to settle in to your life vision.
So let's get a little deeper on that. You mentioned, sort of following your innate, and some people I think may not know what that means, or may think they know what that means, and be right or wrong. So, being that I think that may be kind of a core component, maybe even the driving component, what does that mean to you?
Another great question. When we say take your innate out for a test drive and to trust your innate, what I think is confusing for many doctors, it certainly was confusing for me as I have discovered my life vision and tested my life vision. Sometimes we cannot really distinguish between innate and addictions, or innate and ideas that may not necessarily work, but we needed to test, get the next idea, or to learn something that will take us closer to what we want to accomplish, or to what we want to do, or the success that we want to achieve. And so for many people, I think when they test it out and they hear that, they say, yeah, but you know what, Dr. Plasker, but my innate let me down. It was wrong once. No, that was your addiction, or that was your smaller idea, or that was what your mind could conceive at that particular moment in time. then what ends up happening is that we give up on ourselves and we lose trust in ourselves. But don't lose trust in yourself. Have the self-awareness to know that if you try something and it doesn't work, that you just need to slip and check, like BJ used to say. You need to catch yourself. We call it in the 100-Year Lifestyle, which is a very strong personal development program that is, now that we've made it a chiropractic model as well, it's hitting people on the personal development side and the chiropractic side. But it's a personal development program that's reached millions of people. And we call it the midstream catch. As you remember from chiropractic school when we were doing that urinalysis test, right? You had to get that midstream catch. Well, that's kind of true when you're in the middle of your addiction or whatever it is that you're doing. You got to be honest with yourself and catch yourself like if you were watching a movie. And when you're going down a road that's not healthy, maybe you're saying something that's not true. Maybe you're letting your ego get the best of you. Maybe you're letting an addiction take over. Maybe you're being an egomaniac and not purpose-driven. Whatever your fight is, whatever your challenge is, you watch yourself like you're watching a movie and then do that midstream catch. Maybe it's when you're with a patient. You know, you're being hard sell, pushy, trying to give them a noogie to commit to care when you just need to come from love and give them options and give them a vision, let them choose, and give them the right choice and trust, they'll make that right decision nearly every single time. So, you know, that midstream catch along the way is a much better option, Jason, than bailing on your life vision. Because the only way to learn is to stay true and stay committed and learn along the way.
So I'm assuming a lot of your development, and I can certainly say for mine, comes from having great mentors, great supporters, people that sort of get it and are in it with you. Not all of us have that luxury of being surrounded by people that are on a similar, if not same message and mission. In addition to obviously 100-Year Lifestyle and becoming part of your development program and so on, are there books or exercises or things that listeners can start doing like now, like checking on Amazon or, you know, tonight or tomorrow morning waking up? How do they embrace this as part of their lifestyle? And another thing you mentioned, I'd love you to speak to is you know, trusting. And how do you know what you're trusting is the right thing to be trusting?
Yeah, I'm going to start with that one. And I think that's really important because I think part of the issue that a lot of chiropractors have had, they feel like in many ways that they have plugged in somewhere and they have been let down maybe by a mentor or person or something. And, you know, the reality of it is there's a lot of one-hit wonders out there and there's a lot of one-hit blunders out there. There really are. And the charismatic personality, just because they're charismatic, does not always mean that it's the right thing for you for the long run. And so it's become important for us to be able to provide resources that doctors can go to on a regular basis. And, you know, you said, like, where can they go? What can you do? You know what? This is a great vehicle. I mean, I believe this is a trusting voice. You are not a one-hit wonder, and you are not a one-hit blunder, and I am not a one-hit wonder, and I am not a one-hit blunder. And that's the beauty of Life Vision, is that a lot of the people that are around and that are showing up at Life Vision have stood the test of time. I think for the younger generations, it's important to stop chasing cool and to settle in. You know, the reality of it is if you're doing for us, it's lifetime care, lifetime patient system, the 100-Year Lifestyle. You know what? That's been around for a long time. It's getting better all the time. If you're a lifetime care chiropractor, stop chasing cool and stop chasing a buck somewhere else. Settle in. If you know that your life vision is related to on some level, that you want a lot of people under chiropractic care, you want our chiropractic consciousness to have a greater influence out in the world, then come to Life Vision. Where else are you going to go? Block out the world. You know, so much of it is not, it's not necessarily what do I do, but what do you stop doing? So much of it is what you stop doing. And this way you can focus your energy. And so, I mean, there are a lot of great books from Discover Wellness, obviously, to 100-Year Lifestyle, to Good to Great, which is one of my favorites, and Great by Choice, which is a great book, two great books by Jim Collins, to Guy's Got a Book, Make Your Life Extraordinary. And, you know, listen, Life University, in my opinion, is probably at this moment in time, at least in this moment in time, is the most important entity in the profession. And so, yes, it's important to do your homework, go get those books. You know, we've built what I believe is the largest database of personal development and practice building in the world. There's over 1,000 videos on every coaching topic that we've ever coached on is available through the Lifetime Patient System 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, from business to patient education to personal. There are so many resources out there that you can gain access to. But here's the thing, you got to show up. You got to show up to those things. And so the first commitment that I think is great and important for everybody to make is to show up, make the commitment to be there, and then make the commitment to do the work. And then what happens, you brought up trust, I'll go back to that trust. The more consistent you are, the more self-trust you will develop. You will. When you are unwavering, even in spite of challenges, even in spite of circumstances, even in spite of adversity, if you keep showing up and stay true, let me tell you something. The world, God will be good to you because you're doing the right things. And, I look at my family, all three of my kids in chiropractic school, one graduated now in practice. There are a lot of times, Jason, that I could have quit. I got a poem on quitting. It's a really good one. Maybe I'll remember it later and we'll pop it in because it's meaningful. If you go to the fan, we'll put it up. You can download it. If you go to that fan page that I mentioned, we'll put it up there. It's called Where Does Quit Fit? I don't remember all the verses. You can download it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, you mentioned a tribe and showing up, and obviously you've been a part of Life University and Life Vision for decades now, the university and the program. Maybe you can share and inspire some of those. Some people are new here. Obviously, those people that know you and love you, we're good. I want to speak to those people that may be on the edge, may only have one toe in the water, just try to test it out, make sure. May hear words like innate and kind of think some negative things versus understand what it really means. What's the value? How would you share, what the value of being a part of the community? It's one thing to do the work yourself. It's another thing to show up and be part of a group of people like ourselves that, for decades now, just keep on congregating, connecting, sharing. What would you say to the people that are like, I don't know, April's beautiful. Do I really need to be in Atlanta? I got to get on another plane. I think there's a birthday party I need to, what's the value?
There is no question in my mind, and I travel all over the world. I work very hard at staying relevant, connected to the public. I believe one of the biggest challenges that we have as individual chiropractors is we are connected with each other more than we're connected to the public. And I can tell you that the public wants what we have. They are in desperate need of what we have. They are in desperate need of it. They are not happy with the status quo. They are not happy with the leadership that's creating a drug-addicted society that literally, here's an interesting statistic for you. Are you ready? Do you know that in World War II, the United States, we lost 400,000 soldiers over a 6-year period in World War II. These are our heroes, the greatest generation. 400,000 over 6 years, a tragedy. Do you know that every year in the United States right now, we lose 400,000 people a year to medical errors? I mean, you take 6 years of bam, 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 bam. 6 years of that, 400,000 deaths, a tragedy. And we lose 400,000 a year. The intent to kill versus the intent to help people. 6 years versus 1 year. Something's wrong. The public knows it. These statistics are not hiding under a radar. The problem is that they don't know that we have the answer because we are not telling the story. And so, a blessing that I have, being one of only a handful of people on the planet Earth today, to be in front of millions of people on television and radio, to be in front of corporate audiences of thousands and thousands of people, getting paid, by the way, $10,000 an hour for a keynote speech, versus most chiropractic audiences don't pay close to that much. Would you agree, Jason? I know they're not paying me that to go to Life Vision. It's a volunteer job. And I love it. And why? Because of this purpose. We have a lot of work to do, and the people are in desperate need of our leadership. And so if you're struggling to get new patients and you're struggling to reach people and you're doing another quick fix for back pain to get people in for insurance, and then you're going to try to give them some big idea to maintain it. You are missing the boat. You are not communicating effectively. You have commoditized your service as a chiropractor. You are just another quick fix that they can get in a pill or a potion or a bottle or get cut on, and they think it's a quick fix solution. Whereas the reality of it is we are vitalistic beings. And here's a poem I do remember. You ready? It goes like this. From day number one, the blueprint is clear. Healthy and strong through your 100th year. The first generation that's acutely aware that your choices mean more than the genes that you share. Take care of your body, your mind, and your spine. Make healthy choices that keep you in line. You've got to have nerve to adjust to it all. Your 100 is coming. You make the call. We live in a world where, from day number one, the blueprint from the moment of conception, we know for the first time in history that people have the ability to live to 80, 90, 100 years and beyond as the norm. We know that to be true. We live in a world where people are looking at this generation of 80, 90, 100-year-old people, and they're seeing them rot away as human preservatives in nursing homes, having one organ after another removed. And people are realizing the younger generations, not the older generations, the younger generations, this is who this message is for. They're realizing that, you know what, I got those genes, but I don't want to be like that. What do I do? Show me a leader. Find me a leader. Give me a story, something that I could buy into. And I stand in front of these life leadership weekends in front of prospective students and their families. I'm approaching my 20th one in a row. We're contributing with an incredible team at Life University through the Life Force 1000 doctors to the staff at Life University and Dr. Riekman and all those beautiful, committed people that work their tail off to build this profession. I just get to show up and talk for an hour and a half and, hopefully seal the deal in many ways. And the reality of it is that I see that every single time, and I get inspired every single time, because this is a lay audience that's making a choice for their whole life, and to see them make this choice and make this change. I get emails and inboxes all the time, and to know that we're building this profession. And I just went out to Washington and did it in front of about 75 people for a doctor out there, to be in front of a public audience just a month ago to see, are we relevant? And not only did I have a 98-year-old World War II veteran come up to me and say thank you and give me a hug, thank you for that message, everybody needs to hear this. I had a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old kid that did a YouTube for me that told me I changed his life. Listen to this story. He said, Dr. Plasker, you changed my life today. I said, who are you? You're 10. How could that be? You're 10. And he said, and listen to what I'm about to say, because it really puts it together. He said, Dr. Plasker, my grandparents died from cancer. I thought that because they had cancer, that I was going to have cancer. And now I know that that doesn't have to be the case, that I can live differently, I can make different choices. And he says, and I'll put this one on the page too, because it's a beautiful video on the Family Practice fan page. He goes like this. He says, Doctor, you can choose. This 10-year-old kid, it totally changed his life. So because of the plight of this blindsided nursing home generation with assisted living centers popping up all over the place, we are getting this advance notice that our parents and grandparents never received. And this world, my friend, is looking for leadership. And if you, in your heart and soul, you are a chiropractor, that you believe that people are healthier if they're under chiropractic care as a part of a lifestyle, then you have found your purpose. You should come to Life Vision and master your Life Vision instead of dabbling in it. Master it. Dig in. Join us.
I don't know what else there is to say. Thank you for sharing that. Thanks for the stories, and thank you for really all that you do for the profession. I know how you contribute on the front lines and behind the scenes, and I'll just say a heartfelt thank you. Thanks for watching another edition of the Life Vision Project.